At a time when performance-enhancing drug use in the sports industry has been rampant, he is the first to openly submit to random VADA drug testing. From his humble beginnings in General Santos City, the Philippines, to immigrating to the United States and becoming 4-division boxing champion, Nonito the Filipino Flash Donaire is leading the charge to clean up the sport he loves. A sport where PEDs can potentially do more than just help you hit a baseball further or pedal a bicycle cross country. A sport where the sole focus is hitting your opponent until you render him unable to defend himself. We are talking about the sport of boxing. It's his second of 3 workouts today.
Right here, Luca. I said, right here, Luca. All of that. It's vitalized, keeps you up, keeps you focused.
The handful of pills,
it helps with mental performance.
although intimidating,
And
are legal.
and this is aromatine. It's anti-fatigue, fat loss, support.
And he has the records to prove
so it makes you last a little bit longer.
On a 24/7, 365 basis in combat sport, he is the first. So yes, that's different than what Floyd Mayweather is doing and others are doing, which is to enter a testing pool maybe 8 weeks out from the fight. But the question becomes, well, then what were they doing for the 6 months before that? Because these benefits do carry over for a number of months. Olympics caliber athletes, they'll compete in August or September, but back in the October, November, December, January period, months and months before, the intensive training that they do in conjunction with the PEDs serves them 8-9 months later. Professional athletes, same thing. They use the drugs during the off season and then it helps them throughout the entire competitive season.
For me, I wanted to kind of say that, I did it through my own hard work. I didn't have anything to hide, that my body was enhanced because of the hard work that I did.
What Nonito's doing is really showing and that you can compete in the world of boxing with what we'll truly call Olympic-style testing, because that's not what Floyd Mayweather has been doing.
Because he'll read you.
Yeah. Today I don't feel like doing anything, nothing at all. No. Everything that I have, I'm thankful for boxing, and it's something that I owe boxing to, and whatever that I can do to clean up the sport in any way or to make it have a positive look, I'm going to do it, and that's where the random drug testing came about.
While he does the majority of his talking in the ring, having knocked out over half of his opponents, he still suffers from the childhood scars of being bullied.
And I think it was more than crying. Sometimes you think about crazy stuff, think about just ending it, and that's what a lot of kids think about when they feel, because they don't have the experience to know and understand that there's a better life out there. That being young is all part of it, and sometimes hurting and crying and being picked on is like the last resort in your mind. You're like, you know what, I'm done, and I'm gonna do something that just ends this whole thing.
Scars that have followed him throughout his championship.
There's still that little boy part of me. I still doubt myself.
What's the weapon? My man.
I think Nonito carries that with him, and it's something that he's never forgotten, and it's part of his backbone and part of, his foundation and what makes him a great fighter.
Brian Schwartz has been in Nonito's corner for his last 10 fights.
When his mother and his kid, and the mother is like, oh, my baby, oh, you gotta do this, oh. That's this guy. That's this guy, It's like, you gotta eat vegetables. You gotta eat vegetables. That's him. Oh, you gotta go to bed early so you can wake up early. You gotta study, do your homework.
Grow up and be big and strong, right?
That's him. That is him.
Critics can say what they want, and there's 1,000 critics. When you're at a level like he's at, everyone's, well, he's fighting him, but he's not fighting him. And then he fights him, the next fight, well, he's not fighting him, he's fighting him. Well, you know what I mean? It's always like that.
Strength and conditioning coach Michael Basil has stood next to Nonito for the past 3 years, in the ring.
There you go, change it up a little bit.
And in his wedding.
That's better.
You fight for your future, you fight for your family, you fight so when this is over, and it's a very short window, in a professional fighter's career. Very short window in a career, very short peak window of when you're at your most powers. And you have the rest of your life to enjoy it.
Now I'm really happy. I have a beautiful wife. I have a baby coming, and I'm very successful in what I do. But there's always that part of me that always doubts myself. You know, I didn't realize what I have until maybe until a few years in the professional level. You know, but it took that long of a time to realize who you are and what you're capable of.
The sport of boxing has long lured the mostly underprivileged class into the ring, with promises of fortune and fame,
Fighters do that.
typical pitfalls,
They love to spend when they see the money.
and something that Nonito tries to avoid.
They don't look at the consequences, and I was really lucky to have somebody who kind of made me think twice before doing anything, you know.
That person was his wife, Rachel.
When you love somebody, you just kind of let go of that pride, you know, and that's why it didn't matter to me what people were saying about, oh, you're wearing a skirt in the relationship. I'm like, dude, I've never had this much money in my life. You know what I'm saying? And you know, she's an honest girl. She's a very good girl, and she's amazing.
No, I see a lot of changes in him, you know. I think there's changes going to come that he hasn't even dreamed about yet when you have a family. You know, you heard the song, Papa Was a Worried Man. Well, have children and you become a papa, a worried papa, you know.
No, yeah, she makes a lot of decisions. Like, oh yeah, that's good. Okay, that's good, and I don't mind that. But when I need to make my decision, I will make my decision, and my wife supports me on that, you know. And that's what becoming a man of the house is. But at the same time, you don't do that where you take over your whole, you know, you become a dictator.
What I told Darren, and I'm gonna tell you the same thing. You think about worrying to win, worrying about getting tired, and worrying about what the other guy will do. Take the worry out of your mind. Say, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna make it happen. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna land it again. Don't worry about other stuff. When we spar, you worry about my power. Don't worry about my power, okay? Think about, I'm not gonna get hit. I'm gonna move away from it. If you think that, oh man, he's too strong, he's getting me with the counter, you're already gonna get tired. You gotta think differently. You know, when you go in there, don't worry about, hey, I might win. Think about there, I already know I'm gonna win. How am I gonna knock this guy out? All right? Think about that and put it in your mind. Yeah, it's gonna change the way you fight. Trust me.
People don't understand what fighters go through, you know, and it goes with everything in life, you know. You're passionate about something, but you just can't make it, and you quit. But then there's somebody out there that helps you out and get back on your feet, and you just kind of focus until you get there.
I think Ward did the same thing with Nonito. I think he gave him a little love every now and then. Just recognize he's a struggling guy, trying to make it, you know, battling out. You know, all fighters have demons, all fighters have struggles. There's reasons why they're doing what they're doing, right? And I think he, you know, that being said, now it's a special relationship he has with Andre Ward, a special respect, because he witnessed him at his weakest times, you know?
The wise words of one master still linger in the ring.
Don't look at the finger or you will miss all that heavenly glory.
I still get nervous. I still get all that nerve-wracking feeling, you know, that you don't get anywhere else, you know. It's part of being human, you know. You just don't, you know, no matter how experienced you are. I mean, during training, I'm all right, but getting into walk into that ring, no matter who it is. I mean, even if a lot of people say, oh, that guy can't touch you, you know, it's still part of your human thing. That's why I don't believe when people are like, oh, I don't get scared anymore. I don't get scared anymore.
This right now, you can jab. The collar bar has to be a minimum of 3. Okay?